I'm going to need every single mother and every woman that's afraid of actually being a single mother to the front of the classroom. Sit down. This statement from any man in a relationship is a tool of coercion, a tool of control, emotional and verbal abuse, genuinely. A tool used to make a woman diminish herself so that way she never rises and leaves his sorry fucking ass. Anyone is allowed to have preferences of what they would want in a relationship or a partner. However, people of quality, people of depth, people that are worthwhile having relationships with, don't look at people's life experiences, their stories, all of the factors of why they are the way they are, and don't look at children as a deficit. Especially if those children are his children that make the woman less valuable, he's a fucking loser. Men that speak this way, that are consistently diminishing women because of life experience, whether that is body count or divorce or children or whatever, men that have to diminish women are not actually rejecting the women. They're rejecting responsibility and accountability. Single motherhood doesn't lower a woman's value. Understand this. It exposes a man's. If a man is threatened by a child, he never was a fucking man in the first place. I could go on and on with a million examples, but here's where women need to flip the script. This is also your invitation to be the person that wants to be the single mother with 3 children, meaning when we are outsourcing our value in the hands of other people, that is always the invitation to say, now is how I will work secure attachment. Now is how I will become so deeply in love with myself and the life that I created that I will show even my children what it is like to take everything that happens to us and assign the most beautiful meaning and purpose. Now is to shift the storyline outside of waiting for someone to choose us to say, I choose me. And there's no fucking way in hell that I'm ever going to entertain anybody that even views women this way. Single motherhood, single parenting requires, if you do it right, requires strength, competence, and emotional capacity. Real masculinity isn't afraid of that. It actually requires that. Understand this. When people speak this way, the whole manosphere, everyone that keeps pushing this stuff, that is all built to make sure that men have the self-generating suicide machine, where from childhood they are taught that they are not of value unless they are producing, they are providing for their own self-interest, and they are in some way protecting, again, their own self-interest. Men are created whole and then broken by other men, by patriarchy, to tell them you are nothing unless you're proving yourself in the most submissive, subordinate way to other men. And men don't realize that as they listen to these things, these other men that peddle these fucking fragile ideas about we don't want single mothers, we make single mothers, all they're doing is they're eroding their own self to then become their own self-fulfilling prophecy, to where they will be broken and alone and absolutely will say, I was fucking right. And there will never be applause at the end of it. There will just be a lonely existence with no meaning and purpose. But they created the machine, so it's up to them to fucking destroy the machine. So in summary, men that think this way, people that quantify human experience as less than, and they have some type of a hierarchy in their head where their mediocrity is conveniently at the top, are not rejecting you. They are rejecting complexity. Parenthood is very complex. Complex lives, all of our lives actually, but complex lives requires evolved partners. So then, single mothers don't have less options. They just have less immature ones. And thank Goddess for that. Because you're already raising children. You don't need to raise another one where the original parents didn't do a good fucking job, obviously, and they're too big of a fucking bitch to grow up and take some responsibility for either what they've created or what they're imagining. And the women that do want that do want the life partner, they're never going to be interested in any man that thinks like this in the first place. Unless they're still traumatized, to which I'll say, send me an email. I'll help you fix that real fucking quick. Raise the bar, ladies, so high that it becomes evident that you're not actually rejecting good men. It's actually an invitation to be able to see them. And understand this, regardless of relationship dynamics, when a woman owns her worth, the unworthy start complaining. The louder the complaint, the more fragile the man. Period.